So this is called Coastline Joe. Won't bother with the rest of the preamble. It's self-explanatory, hopefully, otherwise it's crap, right? Coastline Joe, excerpted from Selene file transcripts for the attention of Departmental Head, Office of Inner Solar System. Transcript 1, marked undue, pyramid or eye only, begins. So we were given the dolls, and we were taught how to use them with no real explanation. It's just how it was. If the right people give you the orders, you just don't ask questions. The dolls were these sort of MIDI things. They were clever in their design. When I was handed one, it was like a pillow that you could never sleep on. But once I was shown the basic moves, I could fold it to make it look like a man or a house. I could flip it on its side. Make a kind of a mime of terrain. It was amazingly versatile, but it was unwieldy. Eventually, they streamlined it. They kept showing us new models, new versions. They told us it was for conversing in deep space, a new shorthand for us to use on spacewalks. So supposedly this pillow thing would be tethered to you in a vacuum. But I always knew that was bull, it had to be. I knew some of the technicians on the campus. I'm an engineer myself. I know it's feasible most of the time. And I know how these guys looked at me when I told them about the things. Have you ever had a look at the gloves on a spacesuit? Not great for fine motor control. And yes, I was breaking bounds, but so what? Everybody did it in the end after all that shit up there. I don't care, you can sue me, you can prosecute me. And transcript 1-2, marked undue. Eventually, and you already know this, so I'm not going to pretend anymore, eventually they told us what they were for. It was sign language, right? Topological sign language, like origami, but for communicating. Eventually you could flip it, you could fold it over through itself so that those things could understand. I'm sure I don't have to tell you how a crew of seasoned engineers felt having to carry those things into training. It was goddamn humiliating. And somebody started calling them Raggedy Joes, like Raggedy Ann, you know. It was funny. They didn't even look like people, just like pillows that had been cut and stitched together, bits missing. Ends. Transcript 2, marked undue, pyramid eye only, begins. So there was a protocol. We were explicitly instructed to escort them to the capsule. Not our capsule, but the prepared one. It was Unit 4. I can remember it all clearly, but it's not really real in my memory, if you know what I mean. It's like a dream. But I followed the protocol. We entered the capsule first. Then they did. We sealed it up. We repressurized. And they just waited while the pressure changed. They changed shape, I remember, and they changed color. It was the damnedest thing. I didn't even look, really. I could see it out of the corner of my eye. I could hardly stand to look at them anyhow, just follow the fucking protocol. So we dropped the suits and we engaged them diplomatically. We took out the origami Joes and we started signing out the sequences just like drilled. And I did it right. I swear I told a court-martial, I'll tell a court of law, I did what I was told, I did it right. And furthermore, I don't think that whatever went wrong in that capsule. I believe I signed out the message right. I don't think any of our diplomacy meant anything to them anyway. I do believe that the EVE was never really isolated in the capsule. And transcript 3, marked undue, pyramid eye only, begins. I'll admit to it being out of my depth. I feel I have to admit that to somebody. I wouldn't even tell my wife that, man, so you can fucking take that to the bank, alright? It's easy to say now. It's easy to say now down here on Earth, you know? They put me through 6 months training, me and my squad. You know what it was? 6 months microgravity training, in and out of a fucking swimming pool. Doing drills. And then they tell me we're going to the moon. What am I supposed to say? What can I say to my men? That I didn't know? They look to me for my every word. We're going to the moon, lads. Surprise. Hands off cocks, on with socks. Section excerpted. I was informed that there were 6 capsules, 4 outliers, 2 core stations, all fit for independent relaunch. And we were the only security detail for the core stations. And furthermore, I was told that each detail was subject to a distinct emergency procedure. I made it clear on site at the appropriate time that I had not been informed about this change to command procedure, and I would not guarantee effective coordination during the mission. They told me to just make do. I was not happy with this, to say the fucking least, and when it all went to shit, what could we do? We did what we were there for. Excerpt redacted. Related note. Following excerpted from Cognitive Regression Therapy 11-21. Notable include. Open fire was useless. It was probably a facile response, but they just started walking out of the walls anywhere they pleased into the corridors. We followed this procedure. We assumed it was an attack. We wore pressure suits and we wore tethers so the corridors would shoot us out into space if if they depressurized, the bullets just sank into their flesh and sat there unmoving. Their eyes and their skulls were faster than you could follow unless their gaze fell on you. If they saw your eye and you saw theirs, time froze and then picked up, slow, like strobing, like time in strips, pulse moments. Each moment is like a beat between changes. You saw time the way they saw time. And the bullets were sunk in their flesh without piercing because their flesh was slower. It was beyond hours in time. It was like dark matter flesh. It was out of phase. Your shots would never catch up, never sink in, never pronounce injury. Transcript 2, marked on 2. I remember looking at Phil, Captain Phil Long, co-envoy Module 4, posted at clearance secured. The damn thing just up and walked out through the wall like the wall wasn't there. I wish I'd been looking straight at it when it happened so I could see it clearly. But it didn't do it clean. It tore out a CO2 circular hose at one end outside the module, and we had to attend to that first. So they must have been operating under some kind of physical constraint. Transcript 3, marked on 2. I'll never trust a contract from those guys again. We get a veto on missions like that from the higher-ups. I'll say no from now on. Fuck that. It's not worth it. Launching off the moon. Sounds romantic maybe, but it's not. Half of my men on Site 1 don't make it to relaunch secure zones. So that's 2/3 of my whole fucking squad, and they're dead. Everybody in Site 2 died when it vented, and all the outliers were lost except 4, am I right? What's the point? Excerpt redacted. How do I know? I know because I know. Never you fucking mind how I know. I'm a private fucking contractor. You want to know what I know? You can ask my bosses how I know. And this interview is over. End transcript. See you joining the port. BD12.